Scarlet thought taking care of her boyfriend by spending on him, giving him money, buying clothes, feeding him, and accommodating him will make him loyal to her. I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting emotional because when I watched this movie, it reminded me the previous me, what I did for love. It was a lot. Yeah, I once loved a guy who I sacrificed. I did a lot for him. Like, I never knew I could, ever be in love in that kind of way. I think that was the first time I've ever fallen in love. Like, I did a lot of things, spending money and money I don't even have. But what did I get in return? Nothing. Unappreciative, ungratefulness. It was a lot, but it's what it is. Yeah. So the title of this movie is A Loving Soul. It was acted on the 5th of September 2025, and one of the major characters there was Sonia Uchenna. It's really a nice movie. Like, you will not want to miss it. And this movie is about Yuki, who was a web designer, and Yuki was so full of himself. Like, he felt, oh, I'm a web designer, I have good skill, I'm very good, I make a lot of money, clients reach out to him. He saw himself like someone that can never fall, someone that is here and can never go down. And as at then, he was in a serious relationship with Sonia Uchenna. In fact, they were about getting married, and days before their wedding, he left. Like, Yuki is known to be someone that is so ungrateful and irresponsible. And before their separation, Sonia was always there for him, supporting him the way she could, advising him, telling him a lot of stuff. Like, you're like, babe, the way you're handling stuff like this, it's not really that nice. If maybe clients reach out to you, you don't like the job, maybe because of the pay they are to give to you, you politely tell them that, no, I'm sorry, I can't work with you. Maybe when you have a bigger pay, bigger amount, you can come back. But he was talking anyhow when clients reach out to him, maybe because he feels the money they are rendering to him is little. He'll be like, why would they want to give me this kind of money? Don't they know the kind of skill I am? Don't they know my skill? Don't they know how big I am? Was making a fool of himself. And she was telling him that opportunities like this don't really come all the time. At least be grateful, because tomorrow you never can tell what might happen. I was like, don't worry, nothing will happen. Like, why will something bad happen? It will always remain like this. But never did he know that something bad will happen. And after their separation, then that was when he met Scarlet and began to date Scarlet for 2 years. Scarlet has been taking care of him, feeding him, accommodating him. She was really a loving soul. Honestly, she was really. It's just because Yuki did not know what he wants. Yuki was just so ungrateful, so irresponsible. In fact, when I watched this movie, I realized, honestly, before you decide you want to be with someone, if that man is mentally ready. Because my past experience made me believe that you loving someone is not just enough. Is that man, even if that man is financially ready, is he mentally ready? But if he's not mentally ready, he will play with your emotions. Oh my goodness, like, he will play with your emotions, you to the extent that you will not even understand what you are thinking or the way you are feeling. You will be feeling so bad, so pain, so emotionally down, and it's not even good to your health. Because it make you begin to think too much. You will think a lot of stuff. Does this guy care about me? Does this guy love me? Does this guy really need me? And that was what Yuki was doing. After he left Sonia, days before the wedding, he began to date Scarlet. Despite the fact that Scarlet was doing a lot for him, he still had the mind to go and impregnate someone else, someone he don't even know. Her name was Allison. He impregnated her, making her the baby mama. And even when Scarlet knew, after the whole saga and complaints, normally you will be angry as a woman because you are in a serious relationship and you are going to meet another woman. Not only you went to meet another woman, but you got her pregnant. But in all this, Scarlet forgave him and still wanted him. But no, he was still as ungrateful and as irresponsible as he is. Okay, during that period when he was with Scarlet, he was poor. Like, he lost everything. Remember the advice his previous fiance was giving him? Stop looking down on people, be grateful to people, stop being unserious, appreciate people's effort, appreciate whatever money a client comes to you. If you're not okay with it, you tell them this is not enough, sorry, maybe you will work later when you have a better pay, and be polite. But it was when life began to teach him a lesson that he began to count his teeth and began to change his ways. Okay, now back to reality. He lost everything. He lost his job. He lost trust. People that he has worked with in the past, they lost trust in him and confidence because they felt like this guy is so irresponsible. This guy, like, because of the past experience they've had with him, people were not wanting to work with him anymore, despite the fact that he was a good designer. Like, he was skilled, really skilled, but his irresponsibility made him to lose a lot of stuff. Okay, he decided to start a business of his own, but it flopped. He could not cope. He could not cope with the business. He could not cope with everything. So he was like almost rendered useless. Having a baby mama, is in a relationship, he's living with his girlfriend who is taking care of him, and also having a baby mama, and the baby mama has a contact with his family, his mother. Every time she'll be calling the mother, your son is doing this to me, your son is doing that to me. The mother will be calling him, Yuki, what is wrong with you? I didn't bring you up to be in this way. Why are you acting like this? Can't you be responsible? The mother was pained. She was bitter. She was frustrated. But what will she do? Okay, now Yuki, on the other hand, he was trying to get back to his feet. He was looking for a job. It's as if all the companies blacklisted because nobody wants to work with him. A friend of him, okay, fine, was trying to help him, to get his feet back, to get a job. But one of his previous friends, Jim, his name was Jim. Jim really dealt with him because Jim was like, I can't let Yuki to work in my team. Yuki is so irresponsible. Yuki previously fought with Jim all because of a woman. Like, Yuki is just a pain in the ass. It's really a pain in the ass. And Jim tried his possible best to deal with him. But as time went on, Yuki's friend who was trying to help him contacted a company who was wanting to collaborate with them based on a project. And then, okay, he decided to tag Yuki along. They went to the company, but lo and behold, the manager who was in charge of the company was Sonia Uchenna, Yuki's ex-fiance.
Oh,
can't you see?
My God.
See life? Somebody he abandoned, somebody he left days before getting married. Like, who does that? Please, my viewers, if you are to be in that shoes, what will you do? Missing a man who you once loved so dearly, you help to try to support, advise, be there for him. Days to you guys' wedding, he abandoned you, and all of a sudden he came back. But this time he's feeling so hopeless, no job, nothing, almost blacklisted in all companies, and he's looking for a job. How will you handle that kind of situation? How will you treat him? Will you treat him with disdain? Will you treat him bitterly, anger, or will you just try to just forgive and just, I don't know. Because it's a situation like this, it takes the grace of God for a woman to forgive such a man. Why will you leave your fiance days before your wedding? Do you know the embarrassment you caused that woman? Alright, when he went there, he was so surprised. That kind of expression. Wow, what am I saying? Is this Sonia, the lady I left, I abandoned? But along the line, Sonia didn't bore. She didn't like react. She didn't like. She was like, "I've gone past this. I've understood that it's because you weren't ready. Because all this while you have been so irresponsible. You don't take things seriously, and I've moved on and I've forgiven you." So she was able to cope with him. She was able to forgive him, and the funny thing was that she even helped him, because the contract that Yuki's friend was wanting to include Yuki in, the team refused Yuki in their team. But Sonia couldn't do anything about it yet, because she's not the one in charge of the project. But she connected into a smaller company, because she's a friend to them. So she told him, okay, Yuki, go through this file, do a good presentation, and probably if the team likes your presentation, because I know you are a skilled designer, you are good at what you do, probably if they like what you do or what you presented, they can accept you. And then later, after the presentation, after everything, the team, they were impressed and they accepted him. But what am I saying? He learned his lesson in the hard way. After abandoning his ex-fiance, not even girlfriend, and then dating Scarlet, who has been there for him for 2 good years, and then impregnating someone, a baby mama, everything shattered. His world crumbled. He lost his job. He lost everything, his career. He began to add the pieces, 1, 2, 3, everything. I was like, wow, because he did it this way, he did it that way, he didn't listen to his ex-fiance previous, that is why things are just going so bad for him. After he learned his lesson, then he began to adjust, he began to take responsibilities of his action, he began to act like the man that he's meant to to be, because all those while he has been so irresponsible. So when he began to think about life, he began to think about how to be responsible. The girlfriend Scarlet has been dating, he was like, okay, he told her, please, I don't need your money anymore, because he began to feel uncomfortable, because it's a shame for a woman to be giving you money, constantly. You're living with a woman, you're not feeding, you're not doing anything, she's the one feeding you. Men are not to be providers, protectors. If you don't do that as a man, if you don't do all this as a man, then what are you then? Doing all this will make you mad, but if you don't, it makes you feel less of a man. It hurts the ego of a man. And then he just let's start giving money. In fact, he's leaving the house. He will go and lodge in the hotel before he rents his own apartment. And then after everything, he started to separate from Scarlet. While the baby mama, he tried to explain to baby mama that, see, we can be friends, we can take care of this child, while being friends. We don't need to be together, to be lovers, or to get married before I'll be responsible to my own child. No, in as much as you're always calling my mom is on my neck, but please don't force me to do something I really do not want to. And as time went on, after Sonia later helped him stand his feet, got the job, like a little job, but he was grateful, because if not, in fact, there was no company that was wanting to accept him. After he began to work, he had to apologize to Sonia. He tried his possible best to make it up to her, apologize. The day he invited Sonia to his house, because like I said, he rented an apartment. The day he invited Sonia to his house, that was the same day his baby mama and Scarlet came. So 3 women were in the same house. Although he invited those 2, why? Because he wanted to speak with them and tell them he's no more interested. He wanted to tell Scarlet, like, officially, that he's no more interested in the relationship. He doesn't want to continue the relationship, that he's tired, or maybe he doesn't feel the way that she herself is feeling. And then probably also tell the baby mama Allison that this child they're having, that he's going to take responsibility as a father, but not like for the both of them to be together as man and woman. And he wasn't really expecting, in as much as he invited Sonia, but he wasn't expecting her to come that particular day. So it was like a bombshell. So when Sonia was there, the 2 women, they barged in. Women and their rants, this one complaining, that one complaining. But Sonia was quiet. She was just observing, she was just listening. Like, she didn't bored, she didn't like fight. Or as a woman, learn how to be reserved. You don't need to fight for a man. When a man knows your worth, he's the one to fight for you and not you fighting for him. The day you begin to fight for a man, that is the day you lose your worth and value as a woman. And then those other two women were talking, were shouting, I never knew you were this ungrateful, I never knew you were this irresponsible. The other one that pregnant auntie was like, I'm going to report it to your mother. So my brother, tell me, in situations like this, what do you think would have happened, or what do you think will happen? Do you think Sonia will let her walk away and maybe might not even listen to what Yuki is saying, the apology, or wanted to, for them to come back together? What's your thought? Do you think Sonia will listen, or do you think the whole drama in her presence will make her much angrier and even walk away and never even care to see him or even want to help him anymore? What's your thought on this? I know you like this story because this story definitely is packed with a lot of lessons. Because in this story, I learned not to be ungrateful, no matter what. See, even if someone does little things, be grateful, appreciate, because little goes a long way. Because of how ungrateful Yuki was, the little things that people do for him, he doesn't value it, he doesn't even regard it. He was so ungrateful, and in the end he lost everything. But after life taught him a lesson, he began to adjust. Do you want to do the right thing after you've learned in a hard way? No, it's better you do the right thing when you have listened to other people's experience, life experience of other people. You don't need to learn in the hard way before you know the right thing to do. Like for me, I learned not to be ungrateful. I learned to be very, very grateful, to be reasonable, to be appreciative, because in this life no one knows tomorrow. Not because you feel like you are above, you can never come below and then be full of yourself. Be careful and don't look down on anybody. Try and appreciate. I know you like this story. I know you really, really love this story because this story is packed with your moral lessons. Whatever is your thoughts, maybe if you feel like Sonia might get angry, might want to walk away, or might not, whatever you are thinking or whatever you have learned, please comment below. I want us to interact. I want us to share our thoughts. I want you to tell me your past experience. Does this story reflect your past life? Does it remind you of the past your past experience, what you have experienced in the past, your love life, how you were ridiculed, or how the person you did a lot for didn't appreciate, look down on you, like in fact in the end you regret it? Just share your experience. Please, let's share our experiences and let us make the comment section lively, and probably someone might learn one or two and pick a lesson and adjust in their life. Thank you.